Edmonton, coming up short 2 years in a row, making a significant move today that the whole hockey world's talking about, Hicks.
Yeah, well, I think this is about space and how do we get better, where are the areas we need to. We can get into that later, but how do we clear the cap room to do it? And it's going to be a guy that's making a good chunk of change that perhaps you can fill needs elsewhere. And we talked earlier, Gabby, about what you got in Trent Frederick. Maybe that's what you have in mind, the role that Evander Kane played. But this gives some flexibility to take care of Evan Bouchard, to probably plan a little bit for what's going on with Connor McDavid. Maybe not the last of moves for Edmonton. We'll talk about what they need to do in net, and maybe this frees up some space to do that and do Bouchard.
I agree. And I don't think it helped the Evander's case when he took that pretty dumb penalty in the last game, and he just took a lot of penalties in the playoffs. Even though he scored 5 regular season goals, I mean, or 5-on-5 goals in the playoffs. I mean, I think he took a lot of unnecessary penalties during the playoffs. But you know what? I think it's a good deal for Vancouver, and I'll tell you why. Is he's on the last year of his deal. He's from Vancouver. He can be put with Elias Pettersson to protect him. And so, I mean, and all they gave up was a 4th-round pick. Now, I mean, and in Edmonton, you gain $5.5 million bucks in cap space. Then Bouchard, you know, is I just don't think he's going to take the discount. He's going to want to get paid because he's been underpaid for the last couple of years. So it's going to be interesting. But I thought it was a good risk and reward thing, and it was a necessary thing for Edmonton so they can make some moves. I don't think they're done yet, by the way.
So Hicks, he's 33 years old, didn't play in the regular season. He had surgery September 20th. Get ready for this. 2 torn hip adductor muscles, 2 hernias, 2 torn lower abdominal muscles, then arthroscopic knee surgery. He came back in the playoffs and was very effective. After all that, some people would have retired. Says a lot about Evander Kane.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to look at it, right? Buyer beware. This guy's got a lot of scar tissue on his body. That's one way to do it. But I think the way that he played in the playoffs cemented himself as a guy that teams need this presence. It's the ability that he has. It does come with baggage, though, and we do understand that. And I think Vancouver, in particular, is looking at this of what are we missing from our hockey team that we had last year? One of those things is the abrasive nature of JT Miller. Another one is Brock Besser. It looks like he's going to be out the door. There's a bunch of goals from both guys, but there's also a presence. Can a motivated Evander Kane in a contract year come into your dressing room and be someone that can help you? I certainly know he can on the ice. He's a motivated guy, and when he is, the best comes out of him. He's a heck of a hockey player. What I do wonder about in Vancouver, all we heard about last year was, is this a strong dressing room? Is everything tight and together? It seems like it was fraying the entire season long. People left. Much has been made about, the infighting that was going on. Well, now you had a guy that has got a big persona and a huge personality. How's he going to gel with that? Well, I'm not going to judge it until we see it in practice. I do know a motivated Evander Kane is certainly a good one. Where's the fit going to be? Well, I'm not exactly sure, but one thing I do know, there's a need after the guys that you've lost or potentially losing.
Well put. Coach, you said risk-reward. In this era, you can't really be risk-averse. With as aggressive as teams are now, whether it's offer sheets or trying to improve your roster any way you can, Alvin, Jim Rutherford, they look at it. You know, they had the Jack Adams winner leave, and they make a head coaching change. And this is an organization you saw up close. That market, the pressure of any Canadian market, but for the Vancouver Canucks, a motivated Evander Kane, what can he mean to them?
Well, I mean, you know, everybody in the NHL now, I mean, there's certain players you kind of want. And one is a power forward, and big and strong, and because you want to build them for the playoffs, and you look, okay, he'd be great in the playoffs. And Evander Kane is one of those guys. Like, I mean, there's going to be some ups and downs during the regular season, but if you can get him, and I'm viewing him as playing with Elias Pettersson, and all of a sudden he could be the protector and a guy that Petey can pass the puck as well as anybody and can move it to him, and he's going and he will. And then being on the last year of his contract, there's that motivation, the motivation from now he's in his hometown. All of these things, I think, and you talk about risk and reward. Like, I mean, you can't win if you just depend on your draft choices to develop within 5 years. If that's the only way you think you're going to win, it's going to be really, really difficult. So GMs are looking at different ways now. Can I get this guy? He might not be what I want, but he may be. And Philadelphia just did that with Zegras, you know. So, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of that going on this year.
The other one more point on that, we just saw the Florida Panthers be a dominant forechecking hockey team. Well, I was a defenseman. You go back for pucks all the time. I know Kiefer Sherwood's coming for me already, right? He set a record last year. He's going to be coming to the forecheck. Dakota Joshua, another big body, extremely physical. You add Kane to that, and maybe this is a bit of the outlook from Vancouver saying, we want to be tough to play against. Well, if you get all three of those guys going, maybe they're all on different lines too. Tough to get the puck out of your own zone when those guys are bearing down on you. So another benefit to Evander Kane's addition there.